Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook on Thursday the 29th of August. Now the aim of this is not to ruin your weekend, but that almost feels like what it's going to be because it's a rather poor picture as frontal systems and low pressure move back across the British Isles. A bit of a mixture of everything and not much of it good through the next few days. Changeable story into next week, just a glimmer of some higher pressure on the horizon. A look at total rainfall first of all, and this is through until the end of Monday, but it might as well be through till, say, early Sunday, to be honest, because that's where the heaviest falls are coming in. Friday night, Saturday, as a slow-moving front trails in from the southwest across Scotland, there's the scope for 40 to 70 mil, maybe a bit more, on immediate western-facing mountains of Scotland. The West Highlands, Loch Lomond National Park, that sort of area is most prone, I suspect, to the conveyor belt of moisture coming in off the Atlantic. Orographic rainfall then, as you get that southwesterly stream. Lower rainfall totals further north and east, but even in toward the Cairngorms, a couple of inches of rain may well fall through this period. Lower rainfall totals comparatively for England and Wales, although the lakes will be rather damp quite persistently. Let's see what we've got then. Starting off with Friday, we've got that southwesterly stream then coming in, a waving frontal system. And once those fronts are aligned to the wind direction like this, that's where we start to see those high rainfall totals developing. Pretty wet most of the day across the West and Northwest Highlands. The fronts may just drift south to fade the rain across the far north through the afternoon. Drizzly rain on and off for the Lake District for West Wales, not amounting to too much here, but low cloud around with the moist air mass coming in off the Irish Sea. The main ripple of front that is out toward the west of Ireland is the one that will really pep up that rain as we go onwards into Friday evening and night. It's a windy day across all areas, gale force across most of the mountains, will ease for a time across the far north. The story into Saturday is that frontal wave forms itself into a little centre of low pressure that tracks northeastwards across Scotland. The wraparound of fronts may well struggle to clear much of the day, and there's the threat of some prolonged heavy falls for a good many hours, tending to break up a bit from the west as time goes on. It's a cold front that will swing its way eastwards across England and Wales. Initially along the Pennines it may start dry, but some hefty bursts of rain will be associated with that front as it passes eastwards through into the afternoon. Rumble of thunder isn't to be ruled out. And it's a much cooler air mass that tucks in behind that front, and temperatures across Scottish mountains won't be too far off freezing, with the risk of some sleet, even some wet snow on the back edge of those fronts. The wind may vary quite a bit through the day. Ahead of the system, gales or severe gales on the hills, bit of a lull may follow, but as the wind turns around west or northwesterly, it could still get up to gale force for periods. By Sunday, we're all into a chillier air mass that's come down from the northwest. It may not be as simple as one distinct front that's across the country. It may well be just more general zones of showers becoming fairly widespread through the day, spreading increasingly eastwards across the Highlands, into Pennine areas as well. The showers a bit more scattered across Wales, but they will still be around, and where you catch these showers, pretty heavy, maybe a rumble of thunder almost anywhere, and the risk of some hail, and the highest Scottish mountains, again some sleet or some snow, not to be ruled out on the very highest tops, as temperatures, say Ben Nevis, the Cairngorm Plateau, will be only around freezing point through the day on Sunday, and at 900 metres, only around 4 or 5 Celsius. Add on the wind chill, and it will feel distinctly cold, certainly compared to what we've seen in some recent days when we had the warm air that came up from the south. Into the new week, and we look back toward the Atlantic for the next incoming weather systems developing. Brief ridge of high pressure trying to nudge its way in, but not really making much progress at this stage. It's likely to be a story of a few showers and then eventually some more persistent rain coming into western Scotland, maybe for England and Wales, not amounting to a great deal. Looks as though the winds will strengthen again through the day. Temperatures starting off chilly, tending to lift a bit as time goes on. It's fluctuating air masses though through into the middle part of the week. We've got a cold front likely to pass southeastwards again, with chillier air following from the northwest, may well go back to freezing or just below on the highest Scottish tops. Again, some rain, sleet or wet snow, the very highest summits not to be ruled out at some point. Rain followed by showers across the Highlands, patchier rain further south. It looks a windy day as the isobars stay pretty close together. Gales, maybe severe gale force for a time, higher tops. So as we go onwards into midweek, it's what we'd call a fairly zonal west to east weather pattern across the North Atlantic. Mixed in amongst this is the leftovers of a fairly weak tropical storm that's been off the eastern seaboard of the States in the past day or so. That may just deepen low pressure around Iceland for a day or so. As we skip onwards, the indications tend to favour higher pressure trying to build over the North Atlantic, and it's something we touched on in the previous video earlier in the week, that higher pressure would start to try and build a bit further northwards as this first week of September progresses. The uncertainty is just how far that gets, and some models that take us toward the end of the week just tend to keep the high centred more toward the southwest. One or two have a go at pushing that high a bit further northwards, and if it does, then it might well mean that we go into a more generally settled spell. But you just have to be a bit cautious really at this stage, and it might still be some frontal systems over the North Atlantic still keep coming around that high to give some patchy rain or showers, chiefly across more northern parts of Britain. We'll have to wait and see on the absolute detail. I wouldn't want to absolutely nail down the following weekend at this stage. There could still be a general westerly orientation to that weather pattern. Some cause for optimism, though, is a chart that looks like this. That's the mean of the pressure patterns at middle layers in the atmosphere. That's the whole week through until the 11th of September, and it puts a zone of higher than average pressures quite a bit further north, just the tendency to be, say, somewhere west-northwest of the British Isles. Just stopping then the absolute conveyor belt of Atlantic weather patterns getting in. It might lead to a fall of pressure somewhere across Central Europe, and we're just getting into a bit more maybe of a blocked weather pattern in that sense, one that doesn't bring rain-bearing fronts in from the Atlantic quite so easily. So we may be just turning a page in the weather pattern as we go further ahead. As often is the case, though, the good weather is still on the horizon, and we'll have to wait and see if that fully develops. In the short term, we've got some rather active, inclement weather to get through this weekend, so stay right up to date with all your local information on our website, and you can follow us on our social media feeds as well. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.